Guys, this Meteor build has actually surprised me. Put a lot of effort in, and we have something that's outstanding. Infinite mana, self-sustain. We have healing that actually regenerates barriers for us as well as we go along. So we're super tanky, uber mobile. We've got like 6 teleports, which also can cool down meteors and drag in enemies. Ridiculous burst damage. Even with a one-hander, I've still managed to hit over 8 million. Oh, 8.3 million with a single meteor, which is nuts. You just delete a pack. Really low cooldowns, obviously using a one-hander. As I said, CC is insane, damage is insane, self-healing, everything is absolutely crazy. Let's see some footage. I think you're going to be really excited about this one. Bear in mind, these mobs are 19 levels higher than me. Here we go. Correct. When it comes to bosses, our evade actually gives stun as well, so our CC is amazing, and just like any other normal Sorc build, you actually have to stagger the boss to be able to do damage. So the plan is to get it close to stagger and then set up for big burst damage. We're using the ultimate, which gives us infinite casting for the duration. Oh, nice. Big burst. 57 complete. So there you have it. This is my new multi-teleport, infinite mana, self-healing, meteor, one-shot, wombo, combo, omega, free fatty acids. Absolutely amazing. Triple S tier best. I'm joking. It is just a good build. Let's just get into what actually we've got, all right? Yeah, everything will be on mobilytics. So you've got like the helm, amulet, all the things here, what stat priorities to get on all of your stuff, as well as like a summary gameplay loop, and the actual video will be down here itself, as well as the Paragon board. This goes all the way up to level 100, even though in this video I'm only level 93, so I'm just going up to level 93. So we got the extra nodes if you are level 100. Link for this down below. So as you can see, the build is very capable of taking on content that's higher than you, and content that is around about your level, maybe like 5 levels higher, is really easy. Like the amount of chip damage you just completely ignore, the barriers you've got, the damage you do is actually massive, and you can one-shot all those packs. You're always grouping, you're super mobile, you've got like infinite mana. The build is actually disgustingly good, and it's really fun, and it's not Ice Shards or Blizzard, which is quite nice. So it's really, really working well. But let's go into the gear. So the first thing on my helmet, max life, lucky hit with barrier, total armor, and cooldown reduction. Here, I've actually got one that pretty much no one uses, which is the Crowded Sage. So you heal for life per second for close enemies. We're always teleporting in, we're always close. This, combined with something in the skill tree that I'll show you in a minute, actually makes us like giga tanky. We don't really have to use too many pots, especially on content closer to our level. You just fly through it. It's speed leveling. It's like you're just pretty much always at full health, and we generate barriers, which you'll see from in the moment. So here as well, we've got the raiment chest. This is like very core to the build. The other uniques in this build you don't need to have, but this one, really amazing. The return of Fists of Fate from my Ice Shards build. Here I actually got a better roll, so I got Ancestral. But one of the main things with this is actually the fact that it has lucky hit chance to immobilize. I've got a decent roll on it, that's cool. But I actually like to use this for the lucky hit chance to immobilize when I teleport in, because when you cast Meteor, the first Meteor that come down will immobilize. From the skill tree, we have it so that Meteor actually immobilizes, but it immobilizes after it does the damage, and you want things to be immobilized first. So there's something on our boots, which I'll go over in a second, which you can immobilize, or when you teleport in, teleport actually has a really high lucky hit chance. You can see when I actually teleport in and I have a barrier, so it's 109% lucky hit chance. So we can actually proc immobilize from teleporting in, which can also cool down a meteor from our enchantment, and also we cast a meteor as well. So that's one way to do it. And the other way I'll go over in the boots when we get there. So not needed, but actually really, really nice to have. When it comes down to pants, I've got temerity on. You don't need to have temerity on. This just makes you even tankier. This is the only one I've ever got. I actually got it like 2 days ago, so I've only just started messing around with it. But effects that heal you beyond 100% in life grant you a barrier. Funnily enough, Crowded Sage actually does that. So as soon as you get up to 100% health, you've got things near you, it actually starts giving you barrier. So this just makes you giga tanky. Also, you can use a pot and it gives you barrier. So that's actually something that's quite interesting, is that you can actually you can overheal yourself with temerity to give yourself a barrier. It's kind of cool. Don't need to use these. If you don't have them, don't worry. These are the other ones that I had. Damage reduction from burning, damage reduction. You've also got damage reduction from close, damage reduction from distant. They're all very good. Dodge chance is something that I've started playing around with more that I really like, actually. So I've got dodge chance on here, and then the plus ranks to meteor for more damage. I've actually got insane damage. You see, I did an 8 million crit without actually having to have this on. I had temerities on. I still did 8 million. So it is nice, but you don't need to have temerity, and all pair of pants will do. On the boots here, I've got the binding embers. So this is the flame shield, grants you immobilize, and you can move through units. This is quite nice for the fact that sometimes when you use teleport and you pull things in with raiment, sometimes you get kind of bugged and stuck on them. You can use that and you can actually move through. The other thing is it guarantees immobilize, so you can like cast meteor, hit on your flame shield before it comes down, jump in, use your frost nova, and that's kind of like the wombo combo, because you jumped in, you've stunned them, you've got immobilize, 100% proc from flame shield, and you managed to get your vulnerable, and that is how you kill elites. So you go, and then the meteor lands. You can even try and cast more, like once you've done it, you've done the combo. That is a mega combo, and it gives you ridiculous damage. So it's actually very, very nice to use this. Just forgot to mention as well that it's actually very important that you get max evade charges on the boots. This is what allows us to have so many teleports, so that we can just teleport around like crazy. So this is a one-handed setup for more of a speed farming. There is different variation you can do with two-handed, but for one-handed here, we've got the core and mastery skills above 100 mana give you extra critical strike chance. And then I've got critical damage, intelligence, damage to burning, vulnerable damage as well. So those are very good. On the offhand, distant enemies have an 8% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds. Don't worry about that. It's you deal X amount. Like, see, it's an X as well. It's a multiplier, increased stun damage. This allows us to actually get a ridiculous amount of stun damage. Look at this. 518%. In the Paragon board, we stack loads of damage to stunned, and then with that, it's a multiplier. So it's not additive. It multiplies your damage to stun, which is insane. It's something that's kind of come to light recently, we found out. So yeah, very, very strong. I highly recommend this. Here we have plus all mastery skills, the Devouring Blaze, which is amazing, cooldown reduction, and all defensive skills. Very good. And when you want to put control aspect on your necklace, aim for something like this. Very strong. Here, cooldown restores mana. This is part of the reason. This is Prodigies. This is a max rolled Prodigies. Very good for giving us loads of mana, plus something else from the Paragon board as well. That gives us tons of mana. I'll go over that in a moment. This gives us tons. Critical strike damage, critical strike chance, vulnerable, and I've got here damage to stunned. You could also have extra mana. You could have lucky hit chance. Those things are quite good. Like on here, I've got lucky hit chance and mana. I've got critical strike chance and vulnerable damage. You know, if I took out, for example, the lucky hit chance and then put critical strike damage, it could be even more damage. But then another one is Band of Free Curses. Meteor deals 50% increase critical strike damage against healthy targets. So really big. Again, stacking with like critical strike damage would make that even bigger. So that's the build there. Go into the skill tree. Let's go to skill tree first. 2 points in Frostbolt. Doesn't matter if you split these across. Whatever, you don't really use these anyway. Here, Devastation. 3 points. 1 point in Potent Warding. So ignoring all of this. I've got 1 point in Flame Shield coming up for the healing. I've maxed out Teleport and come over to Shimmering Teleport for the damage reduction. Here we've got Glass Cannon. I've maxed this. If you find yourself a bit too squishy, take it out. right? You could take this down to 1 and you could put more points into things like the mana shield, like the elements. I don't have put any points into ice armor because I have maxed rank, well, defensive rank, sorry, on my amulet. So I'm utilizing that. Otherwise, you could, for example, take a point out of somewhere, anywhere you want, out of protection this, put 1 point in so you actually have access to ice armor. We've maxed out Frost Shield, Frost Nova, and come down to the Mystical Frost. And we've also maxed out Elemental Attunements. That's for the resets, which is really, really nice. Very quickly becoming one of my favorite passives here. Precision Magic, max that for the lucky hit chance, which is amazing. And then, as I say, we've got 1 point in line the elements, 3 points in protection for big barriers, and we're teleporting. Teleporting gives us barriers. All our defensive skills give us barriers. Even just using spacebar gives us a barrier because it counts as teleport because of our enchantment. So we've always got barriers. So having a nice big barrier stack from there, very, very good. Don't need to worry about even things like Icy Veils because we just got so much cooldown reduction that we get so many barriers so fast. Here as well, we have Meteor. Obviously, I've maxed out Meteor, come up for the Immobilize. Highly recommend that over the 30% faster. But if you don't use Fist of Fate, know that attack speed basically also equals cast speed, which actually cools down meteors faster. So if you've got gloves, you can put attack speed on. That's good. Max out Devouring Blaze, max out Inner Flames. It's like 3 damage. Inferno, we've maxed out. This is good. You can pull things towards, to group things. But this is amazing. While Inferno is active, your pyromancy skills cost no mana. Gives you huge burst windows, especially on bosses. You saw when I killed the spider boss. You just want to stagger it. Cast this, hopefully when you're above 100 mana as well. So if you can play for time, make sure you're above 100 mana for the extra crit chance from the legendary aspect. Put this down and just burst, and you can kill bosses that are 20 levels higher than you just in one single burst, which is amazing. And then here we've got a point in Fiery Surge, a point in Ezra's Pyre, but we're coming over to Warmth. This gives you more healing. This is one of the reasons why on like content closer to your level, you're like invincible going around. You ignore chip damage. You build up barrier as you're going along. Everything else gives you a barrier anyway. You take a couple of hits, your health goes down, and all of a sudden it just heals back up, and it goes straight back on to giving you a barrier because of your leggings, unique leggings, temeraries. It's so nice to have this. And not a lot of builds actually put it in, but the sustain from this makes it incredibly casual friendly. You don't have to worry about potting like hardly at all. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend this. And then the end one, we have Issue's Ferocity to get the extra crit chance and damage. When it comes to the Paragon board, the first thing we got here is Territorial for damage reduction to close and damage to close. And I could take a few more dex nodes when I level up, not level 100. So there's a couple things that I've kind of skipped through here and a bit further on, which I'll also explain. But as I said, down below, the Mobilytics link has the full board for like level 100 done and dusted for you. Above this, we are taking the Static Surge node. We are actually taking this as well. So this board and the node, this gives us mana every time we stun, teleport stun, evade stuns, everything stuns. It gives us tons of mana, basically infinite mana. And then these nodes here, like 30% to stunned, 30% stunned, 30%. It's massive. Plus all the other ones, bit of extra mana. And then we've put the Adept glyph in here because it's an intelligence-based one. And you get massive damage, and mastery skills have increased area for our meteors. So that's very nice. Above this, we've got the Searing Heat board. Here, I've put in the Flame Feeder. So we've got the dex in here to extra damage to burning enemies, and coming up for the critical strike damage. But Flame Feeder also, you deal 10%. It's a multiplier as well, increased direct damage to burning enemies. So it's very, very nice. Over here to the right-hand side of Static Surge, we are using the Frigid Fate board. Here we've got Intactician. This boosts the nodes here like this one, so extra vulnerable damage, which is massive. Also come down for extra like vulnerable damage. I've skipped like the lucky hit chance. I've also even skipped the vulnerable from damage reduction, from vulnerable, because we basically just kill everything. We don't really need this. So I've actually taken it out from what I've have in like other builds, for example. Skipped it. Save the points for a bit more damage. Up here, we have the Burning Instinct board. And we've come in for the Control Glyph for loads of damage to crowd-controlled enemies, since we are always stunning things. And then we've come down here for like the Dex, for example. And then below, we have the Ceaseless Conduit board. This one is a dex-based board, and I've put in exploit. So this is going to boost our vulnerable damage. And there is a lot more dex. So there's a couple of dex nodes here, a couple of dex nodes there that we can take. Also, the searing heat in the top right on the actual full level 100 board, I do continue this up and take the searing heat as well. So again, check it all out on Mobalytics, and you'll be able to see the full Paragon board. This 6 boards, 6 glyphs, and 2 legendary nodes. The efficiency is actually massive, and the damage is crazy good. So yeah, I highly recommend this board. Enchantments, teleport enchantment, and meteor. So meteors, you know, we've got our lucky hit chance, which is calling down loads of meteors, and teleport as well. And teleport has lucky hit chance, really high lucky hit chance, I've said. So you can teleport in, it can immobilize, cool down a meteor, and sometimes just from teleporting, you wipe out a pack. You literally just teleport and you kill them. Sometimes teleport and Frost Nova, a fat finger in the ult, that can be enough to just kill a pack just from teleport. It's actually giga juicy. It's so much fun. Yeah, so that's the build, guys. Something a bit different from Ice Shards. I hope you really enjoy it. I've had so much fun making it and experimenting with Meteor. I almost gave up at one point, and I'm glad I didn't, because this build is so much fun to play. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. We're going to be working on Lightning next, since we got Ice Shards in this one. So, Lightning, we'll see what we can make. I want to see if I can make a giga speedrunning build. See how that goes. Let me know what you think about this build down below, or if you're going to use it. Don't forget to like and sub. Remember, you can join me live at twitch.tv/Bentley_TV. Comment for the algorithm. And I hope you really enjoyed. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you very soon. There you go. Entire elite pack. Completely deleted.